Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are headed to the Legislative Building in Regina, Saskatchewan. We're going to take a kind of like a tour as they give a guided tour in this big building. And then after that, we're going to come across the street and check out the garden as we're going to be filming that as well. That'll be closer to the end of the video. Yep.
The biggest legislative building in Canada.
Oh, really? Huh.
Why? Just know it is.
So the only thing is they don't allow filming inside, so all I could do was just capture some pictures of what some of the rooms look like and kind of what's in there. So if you want to stick around to watch that, as there is quite a few neat things to see inside of this building. Here they come back. Where are they? I don't see them.
Come this way.
Sure. Weird stairs. Oh, really? So from this point on, I wasn't able to film inside of this building, so it's just going to be some photos. So this is the main entrance when you first walk in. There is a scanner that you have to walk through just to make sure for security reasons. It's kind of like going through the airport, same thing. This building is very detailed, as you can see here in the center of the room. This is all a tile work that they did to create the flooring, and also with a lot of the artwork on the walls with concrete and marble. It's quite impressive. So this building was constructed August 31st, 1908. It was completed January 25th in 1912. The cost to make this building then was $1.75 million. That would be $39.1 million back in 2021. Now, the official name of this building, it's called Saskatchewan Legislative Building and Grounds, National Historic Site of Canada. So these are the set of stairs that we head up to the second floor. I guess that's what you would call it. But before that, we had to just kind of like stick around, and so we ended up looking at this book that has all of the history, and I'm sure you could find some of this online if you were to Google it. So this was the information of when they started building this huge building and the people's names that were in it and just a lot of history stuff. So I'm going to apologize right now because throughout the rest of the video, my cat really wanted attention and wanted in my office, and I would not let him in. So you'll be able to hear him kind of crying in the background. But we were just trying to get the voiceovers done for this video. So at the time when they were building this building, there was nothing around Regina in that area. As you can see in this picture, there's the building and there's nothing but fields around. Quite crazy, because if you look now on Google Maps, you'll see that there's so many buildings around this legislative building now. And like I said, we're going to take a tour later after all of the inside look of this building, and we'll check out the grounds. This painting was quite amazing inside. They had it up on the wall. So I guess it's time. We're going to start looking around inside the building. So as we head up the stairs, we come to the second level as I start panning around the room, just taking pictures of what's all here. And if you look straight up, it looks like there's a natural skylight, but it actually isn't. It's just a bunch of LED lights or some kind of bulb up there, making it look like natural light.
So this area here is called the Retunda. It's got statues of the first Premier Walter Scott. It also has some statues of the first Prime Minister to live in Saskatchewan, which was John G. Diefenbaker. There's also paintings on the wall depicting First Nations and the North and First Nations and the South on the other side. They also have some paintings of other things of Saskatchewan in this area. All the marble was imported from Europe for this area. The whole building has marble from all over the world, but most of this area was European. As we go from here, we step into the actual part where the ministers of Saskatchewan sit for legislative assembly. On the left-hand side, we have the Saskatchewan Party, which is the party that's currently in power in Saskatchewan. On the right-hand side is the New Democrats and also a independent in there. This part has a lot of wood from various parts of the world, as well as a picture of Queen Elizabeth. At this time, we should have a picture of King Charles, but we don't have it yet. Stuff like that doesn't arrive for quite some time before it'll be in the actual legislative building. The Speaker of the Legislative sits at the top of that podium, and he's kind of the person that make sure that the people arguing don't have their say too long. From here, we headed into the library of the legislative building. In there, they have the Confederation table, which is supposedly the table where the Canadian Confederation was signed. It was brought to Saskatchewan by a private collector and since has been moved into the legislative building. In here has all the books that the members of the Legislative Assembly would use to do some research or do what they need to do in their position. They also have in this the first desk of the first Premier Walter Scott as well. His desk is there with his chair and some of his materials.
So, looking out this window to your left is where we came into the building, and straight ahead would be the gardens. So there's a lot to see in this library, and you're welcome to go and check it out at any time, taking photos, as long as you're not taking pictures of anybody who works there or who's touring the building. And of course, we're not supposed to take video, so this is good as we can get to show you kind of what's inside. So here we go back down to the main level. Unfortunately, we cannot tour the whole building. It's still kind of private, apparently. So they just kind of give us a central tour.
Here we headed to the gallery of all the premiers. This gallery kind of, they get paintings done of all the premiers so that they have them all. You do not get your painting put in here until you are done being premier. So our current premier, he doesn't have his painting in this gallery at this moment. It will be put in there once he is done being premier, and the new premier becomes the reigning premier. This cabinet here, you see all the things that are Saskatchewan. So our flower is the lily, our deer is the white-tailed deer. We also have the fishes, the walleye. They have all different things like that in there. So from here, we're looking up into the second floor rotunda where we were initially. Just a good look at the architecture in this building. Gives you a good view of how massive this building actually is. So this next gallery that we go into is the Speakers of the House of the Legislative Assembly. Each speaker has their own painting as well. They kind of stretch out quite far because there's more speakers than there actually was room for paintings, as the speaker changes quite often. The Speaker of the House basically is the referee in the legislative building between the parties. The Lieutenant Governor's house is actually Government House in Regina. We will be going to that in a future video. As we move into the Assiniboine Gallery, it is a gallery depicting all the First Nations chiefs of Saskatchewan when we became a province. Some of them were not available for a sitting to show the leaders, but they were actually painted off of pictures. I do believe a couple of them passed before they were able to paint them, so that's why they had to go off of pictures that they painted instead. Very interesting way of looking at them. The artist that did them was recommended because of his realism that he paints pictures in. And as we go through the hallways, it's almost like looking at class photos. They had photos of basically the legislative that was sitting at the time. They're throughout the legislative building all over. So you'll just see a few of them here. It's kind of interesting to see that for a long time it was only men in the legislative building, very few women. Now it's getting pretty close to 50-50 in Saskatchewan. The reason they built this building so big was they anticipated Saskatchewan to be one of the more populated provinces in Canada. Unfortunately, that has never happened. Saskatchewan's always stayed around about 1 million people, despite its large province. So in here is all the pictures of the Lieutenant Governors of Saskatchewan. The Lieutenant Governor is the representative to King Charles in Saskatchewan. We are still part of the Commonwealth, and so therefore we still have King Charles as basically our ruler, even though we are an independent country. The Lieutenant Governor reports to the Governor General, which is the Canada's representative to England. So we end up at near the end of our tour. They have a depiction of what the construction was at the legislative building. So a lot of pictures of various people that have attended. You see the Queen Elizabeth II there. She was here quite often, actually, because of the RCMP in Saskatchewan, since she was the actual leader of the RCMP by law. They also show construction of the building itself. So Saskatchewan, a couple summers ago, they replaced the dome on top of the legislative building. It was getting to a point where it was just getting deteriorated and needed to be replaced. So they had a few pictures of when they replaced it and some of the stuff they found. They're shown here now. There was some interesting stuff that was up there, different construction materials that they didn't expect to see from the time that they built it. And then they also have what they call the Cumberland Gallery here, where they every few months they have a new artist come in and put some paintings up. That painting of Queen Elizabeth, the bigger one, was part of that Cumberland Gallery thing that they were doing this time around.
So in the middle of the room, they had this little table with a glass top, and inside was some of the royal visitors' stuff, like plates and newspapers and that sort of stuff. It was really neat to see. And with this new painting that they're putting up, they're just putting it up, and the guy let me take a quick snapshot of it before we ended up leaving the room. So that was really neat to see as well. A lot of us did not know who this guy was in the picture. Even the tour guide didn't know. We thought it was Elon Musk, or at least I did. And somebody had also said that maybe it could have been Queen, the Queen's sister, but I didn't see that. So at the end of the tour, they do have a book that you can sign your name in. It kind of tells them who's been there and where you're from. Then this is just another little area that I thought was pretty neat. So I was looking at some of the artwork in there, and a lot of marble. There's so much marble and so beautiful. Just looked at that before we started heading out towards the garden area across the street. Well, that was that. It's a big potted plant.
Okay, that makes sense.
What's that?
So it's of Queen Elizabeth when she went to the throne in 1952.
Mm-hmm.
The horse that she's on was her favorite horse, Hermes. He was born and raised in Fort Walsh, Saskatchewan.
Really?
And presented to Her Queen Majesty in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in 1969.
Yeah.
Queen rode that horse at the annual trooping of the color until 1987.
Wow.
And the horse died, of course.
Huh.
This was unveiled by the Queen herself in 2005.
Oh, wow. Beautiful roses. Yep. No, we can walk. That's a lot of work for planting. Oh, a dolphin.
Saskatchewan. Smells terrible.
Smells terrible?
Smells incredible.
Oh, incredible. You said terrible. Oh, wow. So if you remember in the beginning of the video when I said when they first built this place, there was nothing around, and now it's a huge city of Regina.
Yeah, he's so funny. I put on such a good show. But just sit there and just watch it in the theater. Yeah.
When you drive by that house, you only drive by that house.
The castle.
It's a house. I don't know if you want to do another tour yet today. I don't know if we get there in time. Nice school. Or did visit what's here.
So there's so much to see and read at this place. If you want to ever go check it out, you're more than welcome to. They're very welcoming. Thanks for sticking around. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like as it helps my channel and also lets me know if you enjoyed this video. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye!